Alright, to tie the Blake's hitch, we're going to take about 5 feet or so of the rope, of the free end of the rope, and you're going to pass the rope, the free end of the rope, in front of the standing end of the rope. So this is the free end. The end that you're going to be tying the Blake's hitch onto is called the standing end. What I do is I put one finger pointing up the rope, and then with the free end of the rope in front of the standing end, I make 5 ascending counterclockwise coils. What I mean by counterclockwise is that if you look from above, these are going counterclockwise. If you need a little bit more for the in order to tie the knot, you can just twist these coils. Remember to keep your finger in there because we're going to have to insert the free end of the rope up through that Blake's hitch in just a moment. So after the 5th coil, then the free end of the rope is going to come down in front of this part's going to become the bridge. It's going to come in front of the bridge, and then it's going to go behind the standing end and up through the first 3 coils you made. This is called a Blake's 5-3 or a B53 knot, meaning that there are 5 coils and the standing end comes up through the 3rd coil. Now before this knot is tied, dressed, and set, you can see that the free end of the rope is coming in front of the bridge, and then it's important to recognize that the free end is going behind the standing end. So this would be wrong, for example, to have this knot coming up, or this free end coming up in front of the standing end. You want it to be coming up behind the standing end. So it comes around in front of the bridge, but behind the standing end. Now you can tighten these coils up like so. And then with this tail, you need to tie some kind of a stopper knot. You could tie a figure 8 knot, like this, that's fine. Or a simple overhand knot also works. My preferred knot is a double overhand knot. Because it's a little bit tighter. Alright, so now we need some place to attach the climber to this system. And so we're going to tie what's called a figure 8 on a bight in this area right here, which is going to create the bridge of the system. So it takes a fair amount of rope to tie a figure 8 on a bight. So we're going to want to make a bight of rope. That takes a little bit of figuring to get it just right, and it'll take some trial and error. But a figure 8 on a bight is tied by creating a bight of rope, bringing the rope around such that it looks like an 8 right here. And you want this part of the figure 8, you want the bight of the figure 8 on a bight to be as small as possible. Otherwise, the climbing, it becomes inefficient. Now this is called the bridge. You want the bridge, once the knots are tied, dressed, and set, you want the bridge to be about 12 to 16 inches long for an adult climber. For a child, it's going to need to be shorter. So now that we have the Blake's hitch, the bridge, the figure 8 on a bight, our carabiner is going to go into the bight on the figure 8 on a bight. Then we need to set the whole system. So I'll connect into my harness, and I'll push the Blake's hitch up the rope, and then put my weight on the rope, and make sure that I can still, when I'm seated in my harness, I can still reach the top of the Blake's hitch. This bridge ended up being a little bit long, I'll show you how to fix that in just a moment. So that bridge is, it's okay for me, but might be long for an adolescent, especially for a child it would be a little too long. So in order to shorten that bridge, all you need to do is untie the figure 8 on a bight and then tie it closer to the Blake's hitch. So I'll pull a little bit on this side and then retie the figure 8 on a bight. Now when I set this knot again, now that's at a better spot for me. Alright, next I'm going to show you how to attach the foot loop. I have two kinds of foot loops here. This foot loop you'll see is called a triple crown knot, and the climber can put both feet into the foot loop if they want to. Some people like to climb that way, other people like to be able to have a foot free to push off the trunk or whatever. So this triple crown knot, you can actually double it up and they can put the one foot through both loops. This loop is just a simple foot loop made with a double fisherman's knot. We'll start with this one. This one, the foot loop of course gets attached beneath the Blake's hitch. What I like to do is have the double fisherman's knot about halfway down the rope, and then we're just going to tie a 4-finger prussic knot around the standing end of the rope. To do that, bring this end through. This is just called a lark's head or a girth hitch. To make it into a prussic knot, we need to go around one more time and pull it through the middle. Again, with all knots you're going to tie, dress, and set them. You don't want, on a prussic knot, you want maximum contact with the rope that it's around. So you don't want any of these to be overlapping each other. This again is called a 4-finger prussic because there are 4 fingers wrapping around the rope. This is more than enough friction on this prussic to be able to use this as a foot loop. When the climber steps down on this, it bends the rope and allows them to be able to use their leg strength to be able to push down on the rope, and then they can push up on the Blake's hitch as they climb. So again, that's a 4-finger prussic with a simple foot loop just made with a double fisherman's knot. So the triple crown knot, again, it's still a loop of rope, and you'll recognize the double fisherman's knot right there, but this triple crown knot allows them to be able to use both feet separately to climb. So again, this is tied as a 4-finger prussic. So put the foot loop over the rope like this. Bring it around so that first it's a lark's head or a girth hitch, but then in order to turn it into a prussic, bring it through again. Bring everything down through the middle. Dress the knot and set it. Now you've got your foot loop. And again, the foot loop moves up and down the rope freely when there's not weight on the rope, but when the climber puts his or her foot into the rope and then pushes down, it kinks the rope, grabs on because it's pulling down more on one side than on the other, and then they can be able to pull down with their foot, push down with their foot, and then be able to pull up on the Blake's hitch.